Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I am the host of the Cryptoverse, my name is Chris Coney, and I am also the founder of cryptoversity.com, which is the online school where you set the price that you want to pay to learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. Find out more at cryptoversity.com. Let's move on to the market roundup, shall we? Let's have a look at the overall stats here. The overall market cap of the crypto I can't remember what I call it. I call it this cryptosphere or the Cryptoverse. So the Cryptoverse is all of the things that is going on in the cryptocurrency universe. So one of the things I like to look at is the overall market cap to see if the overall industry as a whole is growing in value and if more fiat money is moving into crypto. And I look at coin market cap and I look at the overall market cap to see if that number is going up. And it's been pretty stable for the last few days, to be perfectly honest with you. I also look at Bitcoin's dominance to see what proportion of the overall crypto sphere, Cryptoverse, I've done it again, Cryptoverse is taken up by Bitcoins, right? So what's its dominance? And today it's roughly 83%, which is interesting. Looking down the main coins, oh, there we go, look at this. Steam is rocketing up. It's now got itself into the 6th position in terms of the most capitalized coin. It's jumped another 95% in value in the last 24 hours. And like I was saying yesterday, don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't think it was one of two things. It was either no one believed that Steam would pay out, or it was that it was the payout that caused all the publicity, which has led to loads of people finding out about it, right? So the thing is, a 95% gain on just on a 95% gain in value on just $328,000 worth of trading volume. And that's really interesting, because I was saying recently that I want to see a point where there's a minimum of $1 million a day traded on all of the top sort of 5 or 10 cryptocurrencies. And so only $328,000 worth of trading in Steam, and it's still gone up, 95%. So a Steam is worth $1.38 now. That's absolutely superb. That means that my Steam holdings will have gone up somewhat in the last 24 hours. Oh, and the few days before that, it jumped another 60% and then another 25% and so on. The NXT is 47% today. Anything else of particular note? Not really. Well, let's check this out. Let me see. Oh, no, I won't do that. I'll do it later. I was going to see what my Steam holdings were worth, but let's check out the Bitcoin candlestick chart. Wow, relatively little price movement since the Bitcoin halving. I'm looking on the bitcoinwisdom.com and I'm looking at the Bitstamp price chart, and I'm looking at the last two candles. Very, very small candles. Very small. And no, the candle bodies there is no body. Lots of indecision in the market. I mean, this is really interesting. Looking at the size of the candles going back over the last month or so, right back to the beginning of June. Yeah, so that's like 6 weeks. Crazy moves, big, 5% gains and losses in the same day. And then since the halving, relatively little movement. Relatively little volume, in fact. Maybe there was a lot of hype about what might happen to the Bitcoin network. And let me just do a quick check on something. I'm just going to check on the pool of unconfirmed transactions. There's only 3,500 unconfirmed transactions right now, which is fair enough. It's not a lot. So the blockchain is still ticking along just fine. So that's good, isn't it? Yeah, so good. I like to see a bit of calmness in the markets. So let's move on to the news. I've already selected a article for today, and it's this one. Stolen ShapeShift funds on the move, passing through Coinjoin mixers. So, well, I'll read it because you'll understand what the hell that means in a second. So back in April, Erik Voorhees explained to Bitcoin.com the whole story of the ShapeShift hack with the Looting of the Fox article. and followed up with us in an interview about the situation. Now the coins stolen by the hacker, who collaborated with a rogue ShapeShift employee, have left their original wallet, according to blockchain explorers. The next heading reads, ShapeShift's stolen funds are moving and being mixed. According to blockchain.info's explorer, the stolen ShapeShift coins are moving and have landed into two separate wallets. The first two transactions went into the wallets, and from there it looks as though a Coinjoin method was used to conceal further movements. The ShapeShift hack came as a surprise for a lot of people in the cryptocurrency world. Voorhees said that customers' funds were never at risk during the ordeal, and that the rogue employee was identified. A civil lawsuit has been held against the employee, but the hacker who helped seems to be still on the loose. At the time, Voorhees hired Michael-Perklin, a professional forensic investigator from Ledger Labs, to help to discover clues about the situation. After the hack, ShapeShift went back online and told Bitcoin.com security was tightening, stating, quote, "We plan to go up this past Wednesday the 20th, and we soft launched the site the night prior. It's amazing to see volume return immediately upon going live without any kind of announcement or notice. It's humbling and inspiring to realize that there are people and machines out there initiating exchanges constantly. We'll be getting other coins back on the platform over the coming days, and the hardening of our infrastructure is a continuing process." Close quote. And then we've got a nice picture of Erik Voorhees right there in the article. There are many exchanges that have fallen to the wayside because of hacks such as these, but ShapeShift has managed to deal with it quite well. It's possible that the hacker may be identified while moving the coins if he or she used Join Market, a Coinjoin service recently deemed faulty. Okay. According to the Join Market GitHub page, quote, "Join Market is a young project. There are some possible vulnerabilities which could be exploited to spy on every user. Recently, people have noticed that one such attack seems to actually be happening. The attack has the possibility of degrading the privacy of all Join Market coin joins. All Join Market users must be aware of this and may want to not use Join Market until the issue is resolved." Close quote. There's a bit of a tongue twist to that. Join Market coin joins. I'm not sure that's a great product name because of that. Anyway, moving on. There's no information on whether or not ShapeShift or Michael-Perklin are following the moving coins with the forensic team, but with the mixing service used, it will be harder to track the transactions, which become more obfuscated as they enter new wallets. But if the hacker used the Join Market platform, it's possible the transaction could still be tracked. ShapeShift itself has been operating smoothly since the incident, implementing new altcoins into the service and even collaborating with the new Bitcoin/Ethereum wallet, Jaxx. JAXX. The company has moved forward from this incident unscathed, reputation-wise, and customers are continuing to use the service. What do you think about the stolen funds and moving and being mixed? Let us know in the comments below. And so far we have 2 comments. One person says, "I hope they are able to track down the funds. I am impressed at how well ShapeShift has been able to rebound from the attack though." And the other one says, "If the hacker used Join Market and reads this article, he'll know to use an alternative mixer service before attempting to cash out." Well, I don't know if he will read this article. It's just one of many online. I mean, how good of a hacker is this guy or girl? If they use a service that's flawed, you would think that someone like that who is security conscious would make sure that any service that they used was well put together technically, so that they didn't incriminate themselves, right? You would think, wouldn't you? But you never know. No human is perfect, so anyone can slip up. Even the greatest criminal mastermind can make a mistake. But yeah, so yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea from the hacker's point of view to mix the coins, because if they were to just spend them somewhere, their identity may be revealed. You know what I mean? Say if they bought a physical product, especially, or even if they bought a digital product, they would probably have to put their email address in to claim the digital product. And as soon as they do that, there's a link that's potentially going to lead to their identity. So before they spend any of the funds, they need to anonymize those coins. And that's what I understand that they were trying to do with the Coinjoin thing, was mix the transactions in with a load of others. There are these services that exist, where if you want to, I don't know if you're aware of this, but because the Bitcoin blockchain is public, you can see, where a coin has been, right? But if, say, there are 100 Bitcoin transactions where the 100 Bitcoin transactions and each one of them is sending like 0.1 Bitcoin from one place to another, then a mixing service would get all those 100 transactions and mix up all the inputs and the outputs. So there's still 100 people sending 0.1 Bitcoin, and there's still 100 people receiving 0.1 Bitcoin, but it's mixing and matching who sent it to who. So it anonymizes the thing, right? You know what I mean? So if I were one of those people who sent the 0.1 Bitcoin, you couldn't prove that it was me that sent that 0.1 Bitcoin to that particular merchant. It's like, yes, I sent 0.1 Bitcoin, and yes, that merchant received 0.1 Bitcoin, but that could have been anybody, right? And that would be because of the mixing that goes on in the middle, right? They just mix and match all the senders and receivers. The trouble with that is if it was, if there was hey, this is actually a good question. What happens if I send the 0.1 Bitcoin and I use a mixing service, right? And I'm doing it for legitimate reasons. What happens if my transaction gets mixed and then my 0.1 Bitcoin ends up getting sent to some website that's offering illegal services? Right? Because still on the Bitcoin blockchain, you still have to have a record of which address the transaction came from. Oh no, I'm not sure if that's how it works. I'm actually thinking out loud right now. That's probably not how it works. Now, I think the way it works is that if all of those 100 people who are sending 0.1 Bitcoin send them to a single address that's owned by the mixing service, right? So all that Bitcoin goes into one single address owned by the mixer. And then the mixer then makes 100 transactions of 0.1 Bitcoin to all the different places that those people wanted to send to. So that's okay. But then in the system, they're incriminating themselves because you could technically accuse them if any one of those 100 transactions was to an illegal merchant, right? You could technically accuse the mixing service of making a purchase from the illegal service, right? You know what I mean? And I'm thinking about it from a legal standpoint. I think lawyers are good at this kind of thing, about placing accountability in the legal framework. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? You could make a case for that the mixing service then becomes the buyer on behalf of the real buyer, and then they will be incriminated. Say they, but who would you indict? Would you indict the software system itself that does the mixing? Or would you indict the owners of the company? This is where it gets complicated. But I like playing logic games with this kind of thing, because the law is very pernickety when it comes to that. And that's why smart contracts are going to be cool, because a contract is a logic system. And lawyers win or lose cases on these tiny technicalities that is just a twist of logic or an interpretation of something that makes logical sense, and then they win the case, right? So I find that kind of thing interesting. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Cryptoverse with me, Chris Coney. Remember to check out cryptoversity.com/podcast. At the bottom of that page, you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. You can also subscribe on not Google, what's that thing? YouTube, that's the one. I need to put the logo on there so you can get to that. If you'd like to make a contribution to support the Cryptoverse, then on that page there's also a Bitcoin address and a QR code. Remember to check out the main site, cryptoversity.com, which is the online school where you set the price to learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. Remember, we just launched our latest course called Getting Paid to Search the Web. Learn how to earn some Bitcoin every time you use a search engine. And as always, you get to set the price. So if you just jump into that page, enter the amount in the top right hand corner, you can pay with a credit or debit card, and you can also pay with Bitcoin. So check that out. I will see you in the next episode. And until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.